going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today we're here for Avataro Sentai Donbrothers episode 46. This episode got a lot of stuff answered, man, and because it makes sense because we are winding down to the end of this, whole season, and I have very much enjoyed the ride. In this episode, we got to see a lot. We got to see the aftermath of Taro being possessed by a beastial, by the penguin beastial. We see that the bestials were the penguin beastial were supposed to symbolize the Dawn clan. They were supposed to symbolize them as well. So we also found out that Rumi-chan and her friends and all of Jiru's peoples back in his hometown are just illusions, just so his surrogate father slash the penguin bestial dude he could have Jiru live like a somewhat normal life. But Jiru was kind of devastated when he heard that, when he told him yeah, none of those people are real, bro. Your girlfriend's not real. Even seeing it through other people's eyes. How Tsubasa couldn't see them and stuff like that. Same thing with Taro, they couldn't see them. So on the background, we did see how Kichino has still been he's sent to the other realm, and Blue and Yellow are trying to figure out how to deal with it. I mean, they're also teaming up with the rest with the our main three Cerebrand, and the other these other three Cerebrand have basically become the main villains right now. They've basically been sent here from the Cerebrand Council, essentially saying that we've been sent here from the council to execute you guys. So they're actively trying to destroy Sonoza, and Sonoi, trying to basically end up destroying them. So they even got to the point where they got kicked out of their main base and it was taken over by the other three. Since they've been basically homeless and stuff now, they are constantly basically being attacked by the other three. But even though the other three can basically take them out at any time, they feel like they just want to play with them. So now that Taro is basically inside of the Slumber Forest, we see that his Juto, or his bestial that's actually running around basically as him, does kind of come off as he still kind of feels like Taro. He still kind of feels exactly like Taro. We see that he actually starts to do Taro's job, delivering stuff like that. And we see that the Crane Juto, who is Miho slash Natsumi, she is trying to she basically understands understands him and stuff like that. And she also kind of understood exactly what he was trying to do. But yeah, we see that Taro did find the entrance to the Slumber Forest. Basically, the Slumber Forest was the entrance to the Slumber Forest is basically a reflection of the moon. And we did see that Tsubasa ends up finding this out because of the manga that future Haruka left behind. We see that in every page of the manga, there is a full moon in every page. So they end up using that as a way to be able to get into the Slumber Forest, or the Beastial Forest. While that's happening, we see that the three Cerebrand have been attacked by, basically end up getting attacked by the other three Cerebrand, and we see that Sonoi is trying to find a way into the Slumber Forest, but to basically find the forgiveness ring, basically trying to find the forgiveness ring, and because he knows it's in the Slumber Forest. So real quick though, they never tell you how he got into the forest. He never gets told of how he ended up getting into the forest in general, but we'll get to that in a minute. But while we see Jiru ends up telling his basically his illusion friends, basically ends up telling them goodbye, while we see Tsubasa is still trying to figure out where Taro is and how Taro even knows about what's going on with the Slumber Forest. and like how he has all this information. So for some reason, because he was trying to get into the Slumber Force too, but then thanks to Taro, he found a way to get in there. Well, wasn't Taro, but it was really just it was Beastial Taro who knew how to get into the Slumber Forest. We did see that Natsumi Miho Crane Juto, she's off all over the place fighting all of these as she usually does. She's all fighting all of the other bestials that possessing humans and things like that. We see that the rest of the crew are ended up figuring out how to save Shinichi or save Kijino, trying to get him out of there, but they end up getting attacked by the Cerebrand, the other three Cerebrand again, and that's when our other three Cerebrand end up actually helping them. But when our Penguin Juto, who's possessing Taro, he comes back, and he ends up taking them to the Slumber Forest. He ends up taking them to Taro, and then that's when Jiru's surrogate father, he's there. He says, "Oh, so that's how that happened. You ended up coming here, and you ended up possessing your possessor. Like, how badass is Taro have to be for him to be able to possess the bestial that possessed him? Like, it ended up possessing him. It ended up possessing him, but he ended up possessing it and actually getting it to lure them to him, to his real body, which was just badass. Like, how awesome do you have to be able to possess your possessor? But we end up seeing that while that's happening, also early in the episode, we saw that the bestials were fighting each other to see who was going to be able to possess Taro. But then Taro ends up breaking out of his restraints because we saw that Tsubasa tried to call Murasame in this episode. He tried to call Murasame, and he said, "Nah, you ain't got to do that." And that's when Taro uses uses the Phoenix, and uses the Phoenix form, and he stands there all no helmet, all shining golden and stuff. And he tells the bestials that, hey, your crime, it's not a crime for you to exist, but it is a crime that you have been doing all these bad things to humans. So you are banished to live in this forest forever. If any of y'all got a problem with that, you can catch these hands. He didn't say catch these hands, but he basically said you can all face me, you can fight me. And he's like, yeah, so you guys better stay here. And the way they edited it for them to run away, they ran away all. It was weird. It was just weird. I was like, why did y'all do that? Like, it looked super weird the way they just let them run away like that. But so they ended up getting out with Summer Forest, but Tsubasa finally, it's finally over. He's finally able to save Natsumi, the real Natsumi. And when he ended up saving Natsumi, we see that Sonoi does find a way into getting into the Slumber Forest, but it's never explained why. It's never explained how. But he does go there. He ends up finding the Remembrance Ring. Now, I'm thinking that he was like the Remembrance Ring, he had to take it from there or something like that. No, it's just a big floating rainbow ring in the middle of the forest that he has to spin. So when he spins it, it ends up setting free all the people inside of the alternate dimension. The alternate dimension that they get sent to when they are killed by a Cerebrand. So Kijino ends up getting freed, and while all this is happening, he ends up getting freed with a bunch of other people. And since all those people were released from the forest, all the bestials that are impersonating humans or impersonating them become very vulnerable, and they can be killed now by regular means. So the Crane Juto, she's also fighting them, but she also becomes vulnerable now because Tsubasa ended up getting Natsumi out. So now that Natsumi's out, she's also vulnerable, and she ends up getting jumped by a bunch of these bestials, and it seems like they killed her or they ate her or something like that. So when Kijino and all the other people get released, we see they get ported right to where Saruza, Haruka are all, and the all other three Cerebrand are fighting are basically fighting our new main three Cerebrand, maybe fighting all of them, and fighting Sonoshi and the others. And yeah, their names were Sonoshi. We know Sonoshi. We know Sonoshi, and the gray dude. His name is Sonaragoku, or Sonagoku, or Sonaragoku. It's cool though. He had a cool name, and then the girl's name was Sonago. Like everybody, why do you all have names that start with S's? This is so hard. But it doesn't matter because I feel like they're gonna die pretty soon. But anyway, they all get it. We see that Kijino ends up getting ported there in front of the battle. He ends up transforming, telling everybody to get out of there. He ends up porting in there and helping them fight. And then that's when Sonoe, Sonoe, Tsubasa, and Taro end up porting in as well. They end up getting there. All three of them end up getting there and transforming in kind of a cool way. And then it's a battle of Donbrothers and Cerebrand versus Cerebrand. So they end up beating them in a kind of cool way, but then they end up getting pushed back and running away and stuff like that. He's like, all right, we'll see y'all again till the next battle. That's what they did. So after that, we had like this big, they have this thing where next episode where they're going to basically initiate the Cerebrand into their team, essentially, now that they all have a common enemy now. So that's cool. They all have a common enemy now. But if you didn't notice in the episode, Jiru wasn't there in the final fight. He wasn't there when everybody was fighting the other three Cerebrand. So now that we see that Jiru is most likely going to try and fight Taro, even okay, he does say it when his Totobolt form does say that, yeah, I'm gonna help Taro out for now, but then I'm gonna destroy him. Which I'm still kind of wondering, like, so what is Totobolt? If everybody else was an illusion, then what is Totobolt? Like, he did explain that earlier. He did explain that Totobolt was the original personality, but because that Jiru was around so many good people, stuff like that, good people, air quotes, it basically developed this other nicer personality, and that's how we got Jiru. I don't know, but other than that, man, this was actually pretty freaking good. Now we have a full-on, God, how many? Well, there's 6 Donbrothers and 7, 8. Now this is a 9-man team now. Wow, this is a 9-person team. Everybody knows each other, all that good jazz. So, and the bestials are officially gone, essentially. I don't think we're gonna be effing with bestials for a while, or ever again, probably. Nah, they gotta come back because Crane Juto, she's still alive because she ends up getting brought back into the forest, and we saw that Tsubasa does end up getting his Natsumi back, and she wakes up and doesn't remember anything. We still have no inkling of who the main villain is, like the villain that kidnapped her in the first place, or I do feel like that's bestial related. Like the person who captured her, I do think that's bestial related because the way the portal looked that captured her, it seems like that would be bestial related. I don't know, but you guys let me know if you guys think that the final villain of this series is gonna be some kind of bestial Cerebrand hybrid. Also, we still have, now that the Cerebrand have teamed up with the Donbrothers, how is Murasame gonna feel about this? Because Murasame was created to take them out. Well, take the Donbrothers out, but he's also kind of like a Don clan pseudo warrior to a degree. So I'm feeling like how is he gonna feel about this? He will technically no, because now I'm not gonna say a 9-man team, because now you have the 6 Donbrothers, which is six Dawn brothers, and then you have the three Sarah brand, and then you have Modesame, who is essentially a ranger himself. So at 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's a 9-man team. Oh crap. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. No, it's 10. I'm stupid. I got a headache and I'm kind of sleepy. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got a 10-man team now. Yeah, that's pretty lit. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Let's do it. I'm digging it. I can't wait to see all of them fighting all this one big freaking monster dude all together and stuff. Oh, I hit my mic. But I'm rambling. But you guys, man, I'm thinking that the whole Kijino, I wonder how Kijino is going to do it. I don't know. Maybe the Crane Jutsu does come back and then she's like, hey, I'm Miho and I'm Natsumi, and then they go on the double date or something like that with freaking Natsumi and Natsumi and Tsubasa. I don't know. Kijino is gonna be a real effed up after this. I wonder how this conversation is gonna go. It's like I'm Natsumi, you motherfucker. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of episode 46 of Avataro Sentai Donbrothers. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What's going on, man? I'm going to see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and stay henshined.